All right, everyone. In the wake of successful boycotts against ESG scoffing corporations, the left is circling the wagons around their corporate buddies for being woke. Chick-fil-A, greatest example yet. Chick-fil-A, the boogeyman of the left because, well, it was founded by Christians and, they do Jesus stuff. All of a sudden, they have an ESG page on their website. According to the left, they are then absolved of their sin of being Christian in nature, supposedly, like corporate Christian, really, more than anything else. Meanwhile, people who I tried to warn about corporations for years on the right were like, well, no, Chick-fil-A is one of the good ones. Chick-fil-A, as I like to say. Oz and open wide, kid. Stuff some of this greasy chicken down your gullet and chortle it down and have a heart attack and fucking die. I keep warning them. Corporations can't really be progressive. They can only be cutthroat, and they can't be moral. They can't be like a Christian company or something like Hobby Lobby. Who gives a fucking shit? Oh my god, they have crosses in their store. Quite clearly, this is a ma and pa friendly place. And no, it's a mega corporation that undercuts private competitors those people might genuinely be moral by your standards. And you choose to shop at the box store instead because you're stupid. You have been taken in by corporate propaganda. I shouldn't use the term stupid because the human mind really is wired to interact with propaganda in that manner. People are just easily taken in. It's sort of like fooling a chimpanzee or something like that. You can do the disappearing banana trick. They have no clue where the fucking banana went. Have you ever seen videos of like chimps and monkeys and stuff watching magic and how funny that is? Just keep in mind that the average person has no greater grasp of what's going on than that monkey does. And then you'll understand why the world is the way it is today. But one thing that's forked off of this, and I'm finding it hilarious, is that the left is now trying to appropriate the concept of cancel culture by aiming it at right-wingers. How dare you not buy Budweiser, basically. I would like to point out a big apples to oranges glaring difference between these two scenarios. Cancel culture, a la the left, is the concept that individuals and private entities should be prevented from engaging in public discourse, should be debanked and prevented from making money, should be harassed constantly, abused in public in many cases, should be shouted down if they try to go anywhere in person to speak at an event, things like that. So, you have Laura Loomer can't even use Uber, for example. People are banned from countries repeatedly, literally cannot exist in that country, cannot go visit it. In Europe, it's hard to keep them out because if any other country adjacent doesn't have a problem with you, there is no border control in most of Europe at this point. Just to say, you can go from the Netherlands to Belgium and literally you're walking across a small street. There are several border crossings there that are literally just marked by decorative bricks. Interesting, yes. At least it shows the Western European nations don't intend to go back 200 years and start slaughtering each other again, although it comes with its own problems. Your exterior borders are basically as well guarded. Good thing the Mediterranean exists. Sometimes it even works. Now, that's the difference. By cancel culture as applied to these boycotts, what are we actually talking about? We're not talking about individuals being debanked or even these corporations. Budweiser's bank didn't kick them out, saying, well, you're too woke for us. You'll have to find a different banking service. Kohl's is not going bankrupt. They're not being prevented from speaking out. Nobody's even shouting them down. They still have all their social media accounts. They still have all their stores. Everything's hunky-dory. People are just choosing not to do business with them. Ironically, when the leftoid therefore declares that boycott to be cancel culture, they're literally making an inversion of its actual meaning. No. The boycott is individual action. Nobody has ever, well, some people have. I'm not one of them. Let's say few people outside of the leftoid, so the ones engaged most often in cancellation-style behaviors. Speaking for myself, I'll just speak for myself. I don't have a problem with it if a bunch of leftists want to boycott a store. That's their right. It would be a violation of their individual liberty if I tried to compel them to buy a certain beer. Well, you have to buy this beer because it's patriotic and shame on you if you don't. Well, I don't care. I don't care if they choose not to do business with a bank because it platforms somebody who they don't like. What I am averse to is that person being punished by the bank. So the same would be true here. I don't have a problem with people boycotting Budweiser. If that were to extend to the point where they're trying to get a bunch of people deplatformed offline for being too woke, like they speak out too much in praise of ESG, we must do something about them, then I don't stand with that. And there have been examples of right-wingers that are beginning to embrace something akin to cancel culture. The left is not 100% wrong here. I have seen some right-wing voices, and it's a shame that after so many years of being abused, they're taking up the Ring of Sauron, thinking they can use it against Mordor. I keep warning them, but they're right-wingers, so sometimes it can be difficult to get things through their fucking head. Leftoids have the same problem. The cognitive dissonance is sheer among 90+% of the population. It's a thankless job that I have being a clanker. I try to tell them that's a bad idea. They're convinced that they can control the corporations and that it'll lead to anything, even if successful, other than to the deterioration of the socio-political situation. And I oppose them. If they were successful, I would oppose it because that's cancel culture. Choosing not to buy the beer, choosing not to go to Target because you don't like the fact that the penis tuck undies were right in the kids section is not cancel culture. It's an individual making a decision that they believe is rational in that situation. It's apples to oranges. So here, link in the description, we've got Maddox. He got into it the other day, rambling about how the right wing was engaging in cancel culture and they're hypocrites. But it's not the same. It's not the same. I mean, even if you use the same term, it's an entirely different meaning from that term. It's, I guess, a better example. Okay, you say ape. I say, okay, there's a big difference between a gorilla and an orangutan. They're not the same thing. You're just choosing to use the same overarching term by taking two disparate things and lumping them together due to topical similarities. And the only similarity is damage to the finances. The methodology by which it's being accomplished is different. The reason is different. In one case, a bunch of individuals are involved. In the other one, a bunch of individuals. Here's the thing. These people are simply not buying the beer. They are not massing and mobbing in front of Budweiser, screaming at them to deplatform Dylan Mulvaney. You better not do that again. By the way, here's 5 other influencers you gave free beer to, and we have a problem. You need to get rid of them. By the way, you need to fire this person, that person, and that person. And by the way, and then nobody's pressuring Budweiser's bank. Nobody's going after Target's bank or anything like that. Nobody's screaming to have their social media accounts deleted and have them silenced so that they can't defend themselves. I mean, it's a bad idea anyway because they're doing it so poorly, so you wouldn't want them to be silenced. Budweiser, every time they post, they make a mistake, it seems, lately. Nobody's doing that. That is what the left did. So, yeah, they're both apes, but they're totally different species. 2 monkeys. Okay, is it the rhesus monkey or is it the spider monkey? I don't think that they can't interbreed. Well, I thought they were the same thing. Apparently the left is hoping that we'll actually believe their bullshit gaslighting when they say such things. And that is what it is. It's gaslighting because the term cancel culture has been disastrous for them. It's properly labels their cancellation style behaviors. They're trying to apply it to something on the right to insinuate hypocrisy, but I'm not seeing the hypocrisy because the two situations are simply not the same. That's about all. Peace out.